Suddenly roads washed away and lonely island trees. After all their prayers for rain, there's far too much now. The fences are down, topsoil and debris all around. What are the children's children? What would their world be? What are the children's children? What would their world be? Children of the fires cannot sleep, visited again by the nightmares they've seen. A wall of flame devouring the main street of town, the bush all around. They cannot get free of that sound. What are the children's children? What would their world be? What are the children's children? What would their world be? The children of the virus are at home, pondering the change in the life they have known. A terrifying threat, yet it cannot be seen. What will it mean? Will solace be found in their screens? What are the children's children? What would their world be? What are the children's children? What would their world be? What are the children's children? What would their world be? What are the children's children? What would their world be? Courage and strength be to you. Courage and strength be to you. Wisdom and hope be to you. Wisdom and hope be to you. And hope be to you. Well, I'll just welcome you all again. It's such an amazing thing to have this beautiful crowd here tonight. It's been quite a full-on month for our family, and a lot of you have been beautiful friends through it all, and this is like a beautiful embrace from you all. So thank you for that. Thanks so much for being my community here. I really appreciate it. I'd like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people as the traditional owners and custodians of this beautiful land that we get to live on, and to recognise the influence and the care of the elders past and present. You'll notice some cameras here, and that's because we're actually filming another album launch that will be in 3 weeks' time via YouTube in the UK, hosted by a gorgeous Scottish folk club called the AcousticnightsONLINE and the Mayor's family. So I'd like to thank them. I'd also like to thank Terry Hellier, who roped me into an amazing opportunity last April or May to join a virtual folk club that met via Zoom every week. I really enjoyed my folk club, and I was quite put out when daylight savings came and wrecked it all for me. So I was part of a Monday night group that started at 9 p.m, which was, you know, a little bit of a stretch for a mum and a teacher, but still worth it, very much worth it. And then daylight savings changed for us and them, and so then it started at 11 p.m. on a Monday night, and I just couldn't do it. And so then Terry kindly invited me to another group that started in the old time at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, but in the new time it started at 6 a.m, and I generally roll in at about 7:30. And now daylight savings changed again, so I'm back at Monday nights, and this is the song I wrote when the time changed the first time. It was my little farewell to my Monday night friends. And it's just been recorded recently for an album that Arts Out West has put together of artists from the Central West who are responding to COVID. So it's called Virtual Folk Club. I stay up late with a cuppa in hand, wrapped up with wintry warmth. You eat your lunch and you're waving a fan as we laugh and we sing and we talk, or try to talk, dodging the delay. You see my kids pop in for a good night while you're there in the full light of day. You've settled in for a few lovely hours while I only wish I could stay, sharing the joys of our music, snippets of life across the globe, making a go of community, zooming between our homes. I crawl out of bed, try to warm up my voice and get my poor brain into gear. You rub your eyes and you stifle a yawn and wonder what day it is here, sharing the joys of our music, snippets of life across the globe, making a go of community, zooming between our homes. I long for the day when I'll hop on a plane, if ever that day comes around. We'll sit in a pub and we'll share songs again, right there on the same patch of ground, sharing the joys of our music, snippets of life across the globe, making a go of community, zooming, sharing the joys of our music, snippets of life across the globe, making a go of community, zooming between our homes. When you're a folkie, you actually demand that your audience sing with you. So you might not have realised you were in for that, but you don't have to sing. You can. Often I do it because I'm a soloist usually, so it just gives me the chance to hear other voices. So this song I wrote when I was in Western Australia, and we were on a big long camping trip driving around Western Australia, and we saw the beautiful tingle trees, and then we saw the beautiful salmon gums, and we were also listening to the entire unabridged Lord of the Rings at the time. So you need to sing hum like an ant, And it goes, hum, the whisper of the breeze, hum, here in among the trees. That's your part, so it goes like this. Hum, the whisper of the breeze, hum, here in among the trees, here in among the trees, hum, the whisper of the breeze, rose and silver, gold and bronze, your quiet beauty shines, reaching ever upward on the clear light to find. Your scars and folds only enhance the luster of your sheen. The shy winds come to play among your lovely leafy green. The whisper of the breeze, here in among the trees, the whisper of the breeze, here in among the trees. Centuries your life has spanned, you hold the stories old. Our strutting arrogance exposed, you're not so very tall. We march over with axe and doors and blindly ignore the fact that humans and the trees together stand or fall. The whisper of the breeze, here in among the trees, the whisper of the breeze, here in among the trees. But if I choose to walk or stand only in your lovely shade, your grace, your majesty, it helps my pettiness fade. And if I let your silence speak, drink in your beauty deep, still myself in dappled light, may I some of your wisdom keep. The whisper of the breeze, here in among the trees, the whisper of the breeze, here in among the trees, here in among the trees, here in among the trees. Mark's going to come out for this song, and while he is, I just wanted to thank the musos that took part in my album. So it's called Woven for many reasons, and one of the reasons is that there's musos woven in from all over the world. So there's Simon Bear Addison from the UK playing Scottish bagpipes, so good, at the end of Scots of the Riverina. There's Kylie Horner, and she was recorded by Sammy Horner, who played on that song I just did, and she plays beautiful Irish whistle. And there's Stacey Blythe from Wales, who plays harp on one of my beautiful songs. I just love it. And she also plays accordion on the trees. So that's been a great thing. Then we have Lisa and Mark. And also Liz Frensham played beautiful upright bass. And David Gleason, my friend, played beautiful violin. And Chris Gillespie, who was the co-producer of the album, he recorded the whole thing. He also played some beautiful backing guitars and electric bass. So just wanted to thank all of them officially. And the other big thanks at this stage goes to my beautiful husband, Chris. And I wanted to dedicate this song to him because we have sort of been through several years that were quite challenging, and it feels like we've just been brought into a new space. And so, yeah, I just want to thank Chris for all of the amazing work that makes this place possible, and also Iris, Raf and Nina, who've weathered the storms with us too. I'll just start with a funny one. This is Frank Daniels' song, Fencing Wire. He wrote the lyrics, I wrote the tune some years later. Big Bill was no creator, he was just an innovator, changing things around as need desired. He was capable of shaping anything that needed making, just from a length of good old fencing wire. When his old Ford broke down just on 14 miles from town, there was no way to summon help required. It was do the best you can. Big Bill was a handyman, and he fixed it with a length of fencing wire, fencing wire, fencing wire. Troubles on his farm rarely saw Bill lose his calm. You would never see his temper flare with ire. He could mend a broken rake, kill a snarly tiger snake with just a length of good old fencing wire. He could modify inventions far beyond McKay's intentions. His skill by all was very much admired. He could swing a sagging gate, repair a broken fire grate with dexterous use of good old fencing wire, fencing wire, fencing wire. Logs were tied to his old roof to make the iron more weatherproof. No maintenance was left to be desired. And the lean-to by the shed and the forky horse-drawn sled were all tied up with lengths of fencing wire. Yeah, the beaters on his binder placed a belt upon the grinder, was so cracked up in his tractor tire. He was skillful as could be, and everywhere you would see where Bill had been with lots of fencing wire, fencing wire, fencing wire. Travellers passing by sometimes laughed until they cried, and very rarely did they not inquire as to the whereabouts of Bill, that man with all the skill and the flair for making things from fencing wire. He used it till he died, and though his kids all wailed and cried, it was observed by all when he expired that his coffin, sleek and tan, had been made by a handyman, and the lid was tied on tight with fencing wire, fencing wire, fencing wire, fencing wire. The album's full of Australian story songs like that one, 2020 Children, the Trees song, and it's got a few people I didn't know personally but just read about. And this next song that Mark and I are going to do is based on the life of Kate Kelly, who was the sister of Ned Kelly, and she achieved some notoriety in Australia both during and after Ned's life. But then she sort of wanted to hide and came to Forbes under a different name, was married with children, and very sadly she was found in the lake at Forbes. And I just got to wondering about her, and this song's called Kate Kelly's Lament.
If only I could be with you, I would tell my story, tell it true. I would help you see that the Kelly name is a badge of honor in this cruel world of pain. My children, see me ride with the taste of freedom and wild countryside, or as a proud lady on her horse so grand Now all my griefs have overwhelmed me, and I can't hold my head above the flood. Cold, cold water, cold, cold water, cold, cold water, wash away my tears. Cold, cold water, cold, cold water, cold, cold water, wash away my tears. My children, I would never let you go, but this heart is broken and I just cannot hold to this frail body that has lived beyond its days, with my childhood stolen from me and my family taken away. And now all my griefs have overwhelmed me, and I can't hold my head above the flood. Cold, cold water, cold, cold water, cold, cold water, wash away my tears. Cold, cold water, cold, cold water, cold, cold water, wash away my tears. Cold, cold water, cold, cold water, cold, cold water, wash away my tears. Cold, cold water, cold, cold water, cold, cold water, wash away my tears.
It's actually a huge treat for me to play with other musicians. Yeah, thanks, Lisa and Mark. I'm going to sing a song that I wrote in Central Australia at a beautiful Indigenous community called Karang, where we had the good fortune to stay for a couple of weeks with good friends. And it's a bit of a love song for Australia in general.
Spinifex grass plays in the breeze, its golden heads are dancing. Sequoias soar past the trees, every turn enhancing, and the skies would take your breath away with the blue as pure as dreaming, and the night's a fathomless blanket, a million diamonds gleaming, and that deep red dirt, and the pure white gums, and those gray-green leaves, and that golden moon shimmering. You have to see to believe. It's a beautiful land we live in. It can move my heart to tears. Such a heritage we've been given. It has so much to say for here, for here. Diving into wide water holes, their freezing depths astounding. Whistling kites circling above, and those old red rocks surrounding. And the rains have brought a fresh green tinge. There's blossoms to be found, finches darting in through the leaves. Such a life and vibrancy around, and that deep red dirt, and the pure white gums, and those gray-green leaves, and that golden moon shimmering. You have to see to believe. Smiling women welcome us in, sharing knowledge and stories, feeding us from the land they love. They know all her hidden glories, and their people's voice has begun to be heard. They've had to wait so long to be given back what was always theirs. Can't you see them growing stronger on that deep red dirt and the pure white gums and those gray-green leaves and that golden moon shimmering? You have to see to believe. It's a beautiful land we live in. It can move my heart to tears. Such a heritage we've been given. It has so much to say if we're here. It's a beautiful land we live in. It can move my heart to tears. Such a heritage we've been given. It has so much to say if we're here, if we're here.
So I'm just going to do two more songs. This one is it's a bit of a sad story, but it's funny when you write biography songs because you write them and then several years later you realise that there's bits of you in them too. That definitely happened with this song, which I wrote for a good friend, and the chorus is mostly her own words when she was about 16. Very intelligent and perceptive person, and yeah, she was just reflecting on her life, and I thought, man, that's so clear. And she continues to be a really intelligent and brilliant person who I enjoy a lot. So the ending of the song is not necessarily what she's done. It's just what often happens, even in me. She was a little girl like any other, the apple of her mother's eyes, with a sweet smile and beautiful features, hopes and dreams for her life. She started out with all that joy, loving and feeling loved. But pretty soon the cracks were forming, a shiny future dawned. A lot has happened since those days, and now she looks at me in an old tired way and says, I'm building a wall inside of me. I've been building it up for years and years. I'm building a wall to keep out the pain so nobody else can hurt me again. When your home is like a battle zone, there's nowhere you can go to hide. Oh, lashing out their bitterness from open wounds inside. And school is not a place of safety when everybody holds their fears. And it's just so hard to keep playing the game, holding back the tears. A lot has happened since those days, and now she looks at me in an old tired way and says, I'm building a wall inside of me. I've been building it up for years and years. I'm building a wall to keep out the pain so nobody else can hurt me again.
inside of me. I've been building it up for years and years. I'm building a wall to keep out the pain, so nobody else can hurt me again. And now a little girl is hidden deep behind a well-kept facade, and she's crying out for a taste of love, but locking up her heart.
Lots of the people in this room have, loved and walked with me through life. That has led to a lot of great things changing and growing in my life. And I'm very appreciative to those who have loved and cared for me along the way. Something amazing happened last year for me, and that was that I was given a residency at the Corridor Project. And it's great having Dylan and Phoebe and Anya here today. The Corridor Project is a beautiful space for arts. Yeah, we were given this residency, a number of us, and then because of COVID, poor Phoebe and Dylan had to manage all of these artists doing mostly individual residencies at the Corridor Project. And you can just imagine what 10 days on your own in a beautiful, beautiful place would mean to someone like me. It was like being given the best gift in the world. And I did it in two halves, and one half I wrote the Little Lost Girl song, which is at the end of the album, and then the second residency, I followed the creek for a day, just down to the river, and noticed how, this water that's just such a ephemeral thing, could seem like a weak thing, and yet water can just do so much. In this creek bed that just had these huge high walls from when it was raging, obviously, and then sometimes the water obviously went a different way to what it had before. And I guess I was there with my journal and with an open and prayerful heart, and I felt like I just was given some real hope and some real healing, I guess, just to see that those intangible things like the spirit, like love, hope, creativity, beauty, growth, all those things will eventually win in the end. And I was very grateful to find my little lost girl out on the Galari River, and then to just to find growth of hope in me that God would find a way, and He continues to do that, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm very happy to play this with Lisa as our last song tonight.
but the fight will be relentless. Water always finds a way. Concrete walls, almighty ditches, proud men gather to the fray. They must never let their guard down. Water always finds a way. Greedy waste and selfish blindness has abused her to our shame, poisoning our very lifeblood. Will the water find a way? Wisdom calls us all to listen. Open up a wider frame. Let her wind her merry ball through. Let the water find a way. Tiny trickle, raging torrent, steady dripping, surging wave, soaking until overflowing. Water always finds a way.